Hi, I'm Ben Buddy Slack, and I'm the founder of the Swan Song Project. The Swan Song Project is a charity that helps people facing under their lives to write and record their own original songs. I've been doing a series of interviews with songwriters where I ask them a little bit about their practice, about one of their songs, for a songwriting tip that might be useful to new songwriters, and also for a bit about how music may have helped them deal with bereavement or think about bereavement in a certain way in the past. This episode features Fuzzy Jones, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, today I'm here with Fuzzy Jones. So thanks for joining me, Fuzzy.
You're welcome. How are you?
I'm doing good, thanks. Doing good. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. It's sunny, so that's good.
Yeah. It's almost like too sunny where I am. I've not figured out a good way to get not be blinded by the light, but the worst problems to have. So if anybody's watching and seen these things before, we do them in 3 sections. First, we're going to have one of my guests' songs, and then we're going to have a chat about how they wrote that. Section 2, I ask Fuzzy to share with us a songwriting tip that might be useful to new aspiring songwriters. And then section 3, we're going to talk about a song that's meaningful to my guests relating to bereavement in some way. So what we're going to do now is Fuzzy's going to introduce one of her songs, and then we'll cut to the video of that. Then we'll cut it back to us talking about it afterwards. So what song have you chose for us, Fuzzy?
This song is one of my new ones. It's called 21st Century Cry.
21st century cry, drugged up on money, dreaming you dry. In traffic light city, everything's to buy. That's the 21st century cry. There's a man tearing them apart, waging a cold war with their hearts. In cages and rages, the kids behind bars scream at a world that say they are. It's the 21st century cry. Stop them now before it's time. Children lose the right to a world that's on fire. I can see the traffic lights ahead. They're selling a lie, now what they said, as they sip their champagne in their private jets. Our planet below takes its final breath. It's the 21st century cry. Stop them now before it's time, and our children lose the right to a world not on fire. It's the 21st century cry. Stop them now before it's time, and our children lose the right to a world not on fire.
Hey, thanks, Ben.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great, Fuzzy. Thank you. So what can you tell us about writing that one?
Well, it was very much inspired by world events. I wrote it before all this lockdown business, just slightly before, but it's so relevant, and it's basically about are kind of destroying the world. It's a political song. It's a protest song. It's against capitalism, and it's about leaving the planet in a better shape for our children. So that's why it's called 21st Century Cry, because it's me going and going it's about climate change as well. So yeah, it's pretty current.
Yeah, and you say you wrote that one fairly recently. You were just telling me you've been recording an EP during this time.
Yeah, I'm writing and recording for the first time. I'm producing my own EP in this little corner of my lounge. I've worked with a lot of studios before, but I've never done any producing. I've sort of done it from a distance, but I haven't had my hands on all the buttons. But I've been learning Ableton. I went on a course last year, so I've been very inspired by what's been going on with the coronavirus, and it's given me a lot of inspiration to write a 5-track EP, and that tune is on it as well, because it really worked well with it, and it sort of sparked my imagination. But I pretty much wrote 4 songs really quickly and then recorded them, and it's been a really great process.
Brilliant. Is that how you normally write quickly like that, or does it vary album to album? You still there? Did you hear me?
Say that again. Sorry.
So yeah, I think we froze up a little bit there.
What did you say?
I said, do you normally write that quickly, or do songs normally take you longer?
It depends. Some of my best songs, and this is one of the tips I was gonna say, but some of my best songs are written really quickly, and it's really refreshing not to be precious. So that was one of my big songwriting tips: is don't be precious.
Yeah, it's a good one. It says it's definitely easy to get bogged down in it, isn't it? I was going to ask you as well. So you said that one was about kind of climate change and those kind of issues. Like, how did you decide to, like, obviously that's something that you care about, and but what was it that kind of motivated you to write the song in that way? Was it to convey a message, or was there a particular, like the title's quite so it's a good title for a song in the 21st Century Cry, but was it like, did you have that and then you think this is the way I'm going to go about it? Was there a method?
Well, all my songs since I wrote Blue Jean, which was about Donald Trump getting into power a couple of years ago, have been politically motivated. And now that I found my sort of songwriting pathway, which is, I'm mad about stuff in the world, and it's my way of working things out and trying to sort of voice, and maybe hopefully giving other people a voice, because I don't think there's only a few that I hear of political songwriters really who are sort of in the mainstream. So I'm trying to be another voice for protest songs. So it basically, I write I get loads of sort of, you get mad and you write stuff down, and 21st Century Cry was the first thing I wrote, and then another line, 21st Century Cry, drugged up on money, dreaming is dry, and that was it really. So yeah, I've just written loads of stuff in my books, and they've all come out as these protest songs. So it's also my way of feeling less helpless world situation.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And I think, if you're a songwriter or not, but the idea of if something's, annoying you and you're angry about something, to write everything you can about it out, whether you're then, a songwriter who then turns it into a song, or you just do it as a practice for getting it out of your head, is very useful, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'm also very involved in like Extinction Rebellion and climate stuff. I sold a car, I bought an electric bike. I'm really passionate about, helping the planet and not flying. Not that we are now, but I think also this time of the world's quietened down a lot, so I think this is a good lesson for us all in this great pause, which is what my EP is going to be called, The Great Pause.
Oh, that's what you're going to call it. Brilliant. And when have you got a time in mind when you're looking to release it?
Hopefully at the end of June. I'm looking at a marketing campaign at the moment, so I'm discussing, I'm getting stuff mastered, so we'll see. Hopefully it'll be then. Yeah,
Good stuff. Yeah, exciting. So people, I'll tag your pages and stuff in the post if people want to follow you.
cool.
Anticipation of that coming out. So let's move into section 2, shall we? This is where I ask for a songwriting tip. So you alluded to one of them earlier. So what songwriting tip would you share with us, Fuzzy?
So as I said earlier, don't be precious. Just write loads of stuff. Don't worry if it doesn't look very good or read very well. I tend to just sort of open my book and write whatever's in my head. Soak up what's around you. I like writing about everyday things, but then they link in with feelings that I have. But it's, you can write really inspiring stuff by just looking out of the window of a bus, or looking at a plant you're growing. It's like about absorbing the world around you, I would say. And yeah, but I really do stress the fact that don't be too precious. Just have a go, because everybody can have a go at songwriting, and it's just have fun with it. You can write stuff and then pick out different words. You can jigsaw stuff together. It's like painting a picture or making a jigsaw puzzle. It should be fun. And don't put too much pressure on yourself. Yeah,
that's really good. That's a really good one. It's a very easy pit for people to fall into with songwriting, and I always think that there's kind of almost an illusion that songs come out in finished form, that you just write it and it's just, which I know it does happen sometimes for people, but a lot of the time it's more and how useful the process of writing is for generating those ideas. Like, say, if you're just writing lots of stuff down, then you can pick out, actually that's a really good line there, rather than it being in your head of great line after great line.
Yeah, and sometimes some songs of mine that I've released have taken months to write, because I've gone back to them, I've pulled them apart, I've cut them in half. And that's what I mean about don't be precious. Is if you've got something you're thinking, oh, this is a beautiful piece of work, but don't be afraid to go, right, I'm going to cut it right down the middle and take that bit out, put that with something else. Because Blue Jean, one of my favourite songs that I wrote, was 3 different songs put together that didn't work at all. So I just threw them together, and then something happened, but then other songs come out in half an hour. So it really, people ask me what your process is, but it just changes all the time, and it depends on my mood. But as long as, just make sure you keep notebooks, because it's good to look back at what you've written, and you might go, oh, that's cool, that goes with something, this chord that I like, or so I just think it's a whole fun process, and you should just don't worry about it.
yeah, I think that's really good advice.
Oh, another thing, it's good to read. I like reading books, and like the whole what's it called, blackout poetry is good. When you get a newspaper article and you block out loads of the words and you keep a few, and then you can bounce on those words. That's quite cool too.
I've not heard it referred to as blackout poetry, you'd say.
Yeah, blackout poetry, it's cool. If you're stuck, if you've got writer's block, I recommend getting a newspaper article and getting a black marker and going over the words that are kind of in between words, and just leaving ones that stand out to you, and then write it out. You write out those words as a poem, and they can come out quite poetic. Yeah,
that sounds like a good one. That sounds like an interesting way of doing it. Yeah, great stuff. Cool. Yeah, thanks for that, Fuzzy. So let's move into the third section now. So this is where I ask my guests to choose a song that's meaningful to them in some way relating to bereavement, and the link for that video, the song, will be in the description. So if you're watching this at home, you want to pause this video, go and listen to the song, and come back to us when I've had a chat about it. So I'll ask Fuzzy now to introduce what song you chose for us.
I've chosen My Way by Frank Sinatra.
Cool. So what made you choose that song, Fuzzy?
Well, it's funny because when you asked me this, I was like racking my brain, and then that song just kept coming up. I know it's played a lot at funerals, but when I was 20, my mum's best friend husband died of cancer, and it was the first time I'd experienced somebody close to me die and have cancer. And he was such a rebel, and he loved doing everything his way, and he was so sort of positive, you know, even towards the end. And he said, I want my way played. And it's just like every time I hear it now, and I remember it at the funeral, but yeah, it's just stuck with me all that time. I just think of Alec now, you know. So, and my mum's friends are more like our family, because I was never very close to some of my grandparents, and most of them died before I was born. So, you know, he was a member of the family. So my way, yeah.
Sorry, I think I lost that last part.
Oh, he'll always stay with me with that song, and he was really funny guy as well, and he loved life, and a bit of a rebel. So it was always my way with Alec.
Oh, that's really nice. Yeah, thanks for. It's interesting. I think it's interesting how that's, because it is. Yes, it's a popular song for funerals, and that it's, you know, that what it says is what so many people want their life to be, isn't it? They want to be remembered as someone who did things their way. Yeah,
it's true, very true. And then other music, it's weird because I don't really remember much other music from funerals, or, you know what I mean? But that one just stuck with me.
Yeah, it's definitely a powerful song, and yeah, good stuff. Well, thanks a lot for joining us, Fuzzy. Really appreciate your time, and so I'll put the links in the description so people can follow you, and look forward to the release of The Great Pause.
Yep, that's it. Yeah,
remembered. Yeah, good stuff. And thanks for tuning in, everyone. I'll be back with another episode sometime soon.
Cool. Thanks.